where we are, where we teach, or where we do what we do, maybe what we do, and I don't know, just share whatever you want to share. Carolyn. Okay, Carolyn, you want to start?
I just got in. I don't know what we're talking about.
That's the benefit of knowing me well. I'm just like, hey, let's start with Carolyn. Hey, will you just share where you teach and if you helped with EdCampHOT last year, and if you have any new cool ideas, maybe share one of those, but you don't have to share that. Just who you are and where you teach is fine.
Hey, I'm Carolyn Stevens. I teach second grade at Bosqueville, and I was a part of EdCamp last year.
Cool. Y'all just jump in anytime.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm Lisa. I work at Waco ISD. I helped with EdCamp last year as far as getting a large part of the donations organized, and so I took care of donations last year. There's Carrie.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, yay!
Okay, I'm on now.
Okay, Carrie, we were just kind of going around. I said I knew there were some new people in the chat, so we're just kind of going around and introducing ourselves again and sharing where we teach. And are you good with that?
Yes. I've been listening.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Well, I'll go. I'm Susan Fletcher with Midway ISD, and I helped last year as well.
All right. I am Willie Thomas. I have never done this before with the camp, but I teach I'm an instructional tech coach here at Robinson Junior High School, but sometimes I feel like it is a district-wide job. We get it done. Jackie Friedholm, she was going to be the other person who was going to help. She actually had her baby on Friday, so she will not be participating right now, but she would love to be able to participate here in the future.
Perfect.
I'm Donna Schillingwell. I work at Midway High School and helped with it last year.
Good.
Did Sarah go?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi, I'm Sarah Collins. I work with Donna here at Midway High School.
Great. I'm Carrie Espin. I'm the instructional tech at China Spring ISD, and I helped get it started last year with Lisa and Andy.
And I am Andy McNair, and yeah, I'm really excited about this year. I teach at Bosqueville ISD. I teach gifted and talented. And then, just so you guys all know, I'm not going to put my video on today. I shared this earlier. I have absolutely no makeup on because I have a sick little one who has an ear infection, and we were up all night. So, but I'm excited about the chat today and just figuring out some cool stuff that we talked about at the dinner and working out some of the logistics with roles and what we're going to be doing. So I'll let Carrie kind of share. She has the notes, so maybe she could share exactly what we talked about and where we need to go from here.
Yeah, so I put the link to the Google Doc in Voxer in the Google Plus community. So if you would check that, make sure you can get onto that. I know some of you guys are already on there. And we're just going to go through that. Does anybody need that link specifically?
I think we're good. You shared it in the comments and on Voxer.
Yeah, I did. So if anybody needs it, I'm on my phone on Hangout. So if someone can grab that link and post it in the chat of this Hangout for anybody who needs it. Is Sarah, are you able to get on? Because I don't think I've shared it with you yet.
I can get it from Donna. We're in the office together, so I'll just look on with her.
And Willie, I don't think I've shared it with you yet. Let me do that real quick.
And just real quick while she's doing that, if you're not on Voxer, that's really, for me, that's the best way to communicate. We'll communicate some through the our group on Google, but I know for Carrie and I know Lisa chat a lot on Voxer, so if you're not there or you don't have that app, that might be something you want to get just from now until the time that we carry out EdCampHOT, just because we'll share out a lot via that tool.
Okay, so I'm going to go through this, and you guys talked about needing an iPad mini. We could also do Chromebook. I just know Luann might be able to donate a Chromebook for our door prizes, so we were trying to do more of a grand prize, maybe something a little bit bigger than a Chromebook. For those that register for EdCampHOT by May 15th, they buy a t-shirt and they actually come. So we're trying to get them to commit to coming, because last year we only had half come that registered, which is typical for EdCamp, but we would like for more that commit to actually make it there. And so you guys were talking about vendors. I don't think anybody had any suggestions. Have you thought of anything else since then?
Are you talking about people to donate the iPad? Is that what we're?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or even maybe if a different price would be easier to get than an iPad mini. I know you can get it for $269 now, which isn't too far off from a Chromebook price too.
I know, and didn't we have somebody say that they could donate a Chromebook or no?
I think Luann's going to try and do that from TCEA like she did last year. Okay. But I kind of want to have a big prize for the end of EdCamp too, for everyone that just came. Maybe that even if they didn't buy, just to do the general door prize. So. Yeah. And probably what we'll do is if we can't get a grand prize, by the time we get the t-shirt link, we'll just go ahead and throw out the registration and the t-shirt link and get the registration going. So the other thing is we would like to do an EdCampHOT promo video, but that's kind of a low priority right now unless someone is really wanting to take lead of that and go from that. It would be neat to have testimonies from people who came last year and make a promo video for this year.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I think in order for that to be done, I think it's probably going to have to be, there were so many people from Midway, it would probably have to be somebody from Midway that put together the promo video just because they had so many people represented there that they would have access to daily, if that makes sense.
Okay, and let's, Jessica just joined in. Jessica, will you introduce yourself real quick?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. I am Jessica Torres. I'm an instructional coach at Lake Air Montessori. We are pre-K through 8th grade on our campus.
Awesome. Thanks, Jessica. And do you have the link to the Google Doc? Are you able to get on?
Probably so. Sorry, I was running behind. I was in the middle of an observation, so I'll try to pull everything up.
Okay, just let us know if you can't get it.
Okay, thanks.
So do you know, has anybody talked to Mandy? Do you know if she's going to be able to be a part of EdCamp again this year? Do you know, Susan?
I don't, but I'll see if I can get in touch with her real quick.
Okay, because I know she did Periscope last year, and she did the videos of the testimonies. So I'm wondering if she happened to save those videos, and we could use some of that.
I can also look up and see from our staff who registered, because we have it in Eduphoria, as far as maybe finding some videos or getting some videos out.
Cool, great. Well, if you're able to find any, do you still have access to the EdCampHOT folder in Google?
Unless you've changed my access.
No, I haven't. It's still there. So you could just drop them in there and just let me know, and we can get started on that if you find any videos. Or if anybody can get a video of a testimony or just explaining what EdCampHOT is, they can upload that video into the Google Drive folder. And after this Hangout, I'll make sure that everybody has access to that if they don't already. Okay, so while I'm looking at that folder, take a look at the schedule. I don't want to read it line for line, so I'm just going to give you a few seconds to take a look at the schedule and think if there's any changes that need to be made to that. Also, Donna, could you put Sarah's email address she would like us to use in the Voxer group so I can start sharing some of this stuff with her?
Mhm.
Okay, so the schedule mirrors last year's schedule. For the most part, it's about the same, but we are going to open the doors at 7:30 instead of right at 8 because we're going to start with our activities at 8:30. So we'll advertise 8 and that doors will open at 7:30. So for an hour, they'll be able to do breakfast and post-it notes. And during sometime during the check-in, Midway Drumline will perform. And then at 8:30, we're actually going to begin with announcements and explaining things and the student panel. This will allow a little bit more time for the student panel because last year we felt a little rushed. Another thing we added to the schedule is based on the surveys, the participants wanted to have more of an intimate conversation with the students after the student panel. So during session 1, we're going to have a classroom devoted to the student panel. So any teachers that want to continue the discussion will be able to do that during session 1. The other thing we're adding is we're going to focus hard on Twitter this EdCampHOT, pushing participants to get on Twitter because throughout EdCampHOT, we're going to have someone devoted to handing out door prizes based on the Twitter hashtag. And so during session 1 and session 2, we're going to use the computer lab as a station where participants who aren't on Twitter can go to the computer lab, sign up for Twitter, and get their account started and participate in EdCampHOT through Twitter.
Donna and Sarah, I thought we could use the library lab for that.
Okay.
Awesome.
If you need helpers in there, I would love to help with that, Carrie.
Perfect. Go on the Google Doc, and I have a Twitter. I think I have a Twitter play.
Okay.
Let me look. I'm gonna put Twitter Computer Lab. Anywhere you see a question mark on that Google Doc, I need someone to fill in that role. So you can just erase the question mark and put in your name. And obviously, we can have more than one person devoted to something. It's completely fine. And things can change up until then, so it's not set in stone. The other thing is we had a lot of breakfast left over last year, so after the session 1, we're going to have a little breakfast stand, so anything left over people can snatch. And then we're going to continue with doing lunch during the sessions instead of having a lunch hour. And this will allow the food trucks not to be slammed all at once, and people just have to choose whether or not they go to session 3 or session 4 so they can go to lunch. And we're going to do the tweet up at George's and Hewitt again if they'll be willing to host us from 6 to 8 on that Tuesday night before Ed Camp. So go ahead and put that in your calendars and we'll let you know if the location changes. And closer to the time, we'll put out a poll in Google Plus to see who all can come so we know how many seats to set for that. Andy, can you kind of speak to those Twitter tweet ups the night before EdCampHOT? Like why you do it?
Yeah, I think that's just a great time to really network with people, which obviously you can do that at EdCampHOT as well. But for me, like even at TCEA and the big events, just getting to go to those tweet ups and really connect with other people and hear what they're doing, how they're doing it, and kind of make those connections before the event, it just really helps form those relationships. And sometimes those become the people that you really, engage with on Twitter, or you really realize, hey, they're doing some of the same stuff I am, and that becomes a great connection. So the tweet up is just kind of a great time to not only connect with people, but also to get everybody really excited about the event, and for us to all get excited, and it kind of just carries on to the next day, carries that momentum. So does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about that? Did you guys feel like it, for those of you that were there last year, did you feel like it went well? I love that kind of stuff. Like that is I love tweet ups and I love those hangouts. So do you guys agree? Is that something you feel like we should do?
I love those kind of events. I didn't get to go last year, but I think we should definitely stick with it this year.
I agree. I think it would be fun.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that's a great time for everybody to kind of come together and for us to all kind of take a deep breath because we'll be done with the planning and just ready to carry it out. And then just a great time also for the people that are coming to the event to get to know the people that were involved. So it'll be fun. I think it'll be lots of fun.
Great. Okay, thank you, Andy. Okay, so now we're on to the roles part of the Google Doc. And last year we did a midway walkthrough 2 days before at Camp Hot, and it was really good because it gave us time to go into the classrooms, organize the desks how we want them, set up what hallways we're using, looking at the cafeteria. So that way, when it's the day of EdCampHOT, you're not wondering where everything's going to be. Everything's already got its place. You'll know where to go. We're going to do that Monday, July 25th at 10 a.m. And we're going to meet by the entrance by the flags. Did I explain that right, Midway people? The entrance
Yes.
by the flags?
The front entrance to Midway.
Okay. So meet at the front entrance. And are there flags there? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, and Donna and Sarah, I've also contacted Kim Bird to let her know so the building will be reserved.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. Last year we changed all the classrooms to try to do a circle because we don't want teachers to come in thinking that this is a presentation session where everyone has to stare at the presenter and there's not dialogue. We want it to be as much of a collaboration session as possible. So that morning we'll decide how we want the desks arranged in the classrooms. So as many people as possible on that Monday morning would be great. We already talked about the video promo.
Do you want the same type signs and stuff that we had last year to identify the rooms?
Yes, that would be phenomenal. Donna, is that you that's talking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, my thing's not popping up. Who's talking? Yes, that would be perfect. And I have a place on there for signage. So if you're willing to do that again, I know what you did with signage last year was a huge help.
One other question. Are we going to use the same logo from last year?
Yes. Yes. For morning setup, since doors open at 7:30, if you can be there at 6:30, that'd be great. If you can't be there till 7, I realize we all have families and stuff that's going on, but I would like to know who can be there at 6:30, and then I'm going to put a line item on here for anyone that can be here at 7 a.m. If you would go ahead and put your name so we know who can be there at what time. This is when we're going to be setting up the tables in the cafeteria, putting the Post-it notes and the signage on the tables, making sure all the green screen is set up, breakfast is set up. There's a lot of running around to do with signage, and so as many people as we can have early in the morning would be great because we will start having people there at 7:30. Okay, so now moving on to more specific roles. Last year we had check-in and registration right at the doors where, if you're familiar with Midway, it's where you walk in for the job fair. Can someone describe where that door is?
Are you talking about in the cafeteria area?
Yeah, where they all walk in to check in.
Down the side, Donna, by the cafeteria.
Oh, the snake? Is that what?
Yes.
So it's a back entrance. The parking lot is in the back near the arena. It's basically to the right of the arena at Midway. And it's a slightly winding sidewalk, and they can come in that door there. We also had the front door unlocked as well. Susan, do you remember if we had the area out in front of the theater? Were those doors unlocked as well?
No, it was the doors, Donna. If you're at on the stage in the cafeteria, it's to the left. The doors on the left. Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Because that's not by the arena. That's by the academic wing, right?
Yes. So that's the sidewalk.
But it's still in the back.
Yes.
Because I don't think we had the doors open where the food trucks were parked last year. Remember, they were on the other side of the cafeteria. I don't think we had those doors open because we wanted everyone to funnel in on the other side.
True.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it's in the back.
Well, and I also think we didn't have the parking lot available in the front area, Susan. So I don't know if we want to consider having that open this year, but I think that's one of the reasons why we were forced to the back as well, was because weren't we still under construction at that time?
No, the fine arts wing was open. Did we do it just because it made it easier for everyone to come in one spot?
I think that's why we did that, because they had to check in. We wanted to scan their badges. We just wanted them to come in one area.
Okay. And we had signs out. I think Dawn put out signs.
In the parking lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think right where you turn off of Mars Drive, I think there was even a sign.
Right.
Okay, sorry, I'm on my phone and I'm running low on battery, so I'm turning my video off. Okay, so we'll need someone to do check-in and registration where you'll scan their invitation, or there will be a computer set up so that anybody new that hasn't registered can come and sign into the Eventbrite and register the morning of. And we had a few PALS students there that were opening the door and helping to scan the badges with iPad minis, I think is what Dawn had last year. Which, speaking of Dawn, has anybody heard from Dawn? Do you know if she's going to be a part of it this year?
I think she's going to be gone that week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Okay.
Hey, and Donna, did we use some of our laptops for the registration?
No.
We did not. Okay.
No, they used the I don't remember if it was minis or iPads, but yeah, we didn't use any laptop registrations.
Okay.
We may have just had an iPad set up to register. There was something on the table behind where people were standing.
Mm-hmm. Approximately how many PALs, so I can get in touch with Dan Marlin? Do you remember, for not only the greeters but for the actual registration, how many PALs did we actually utilize? Didn't we also have them kind of?
They were in the library with Lindsay Stevens as well. We also might consider Nicole Miles and the AVID students. She's always looking for opportunities for her AVID students as well.
Because
sorry about that.
Different sets. We had a set that came in the morning, and we had a set that came in the afternoon, and were huge and instrumental in the cleanup at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just however many you feel like we need to utilize, so I can get with Dan on that.
Do you know how many we used last year? Actually, he might know because they had to register their hours. I mean, they got credit for it. So he actually might know how many came last year.
Yeah, did they sign in or anything, or no?
They signed in with me. I'm looking to see if I kept that information or I just sent it straight to Dan.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's the check-in registration. It's fairly simple, straightforward, and they just check in with you. Post-it notes, that got a little crazy last year because people were turning in Post-it notes without their name on it, and they were willing to lead a session, but we didn't know who they were. So what we need is a few people lined up at the tables where they turn in the Post-it notes. So people turn in the Post-it notes to specific people. They can actually talk with them one-on-one. Hey, I see you're interested in leading this session. Tell me a little bit more about it, or making sure their name is on it. So we need people to actually take the Post-it notes from others, and we need people to help organize it. Now, this year we're going to do something a little different. Those who have registered for EdCampHOT 2 weeks beforehand, we're going to send out a Google form, and we're going to ask those Post-it note questions. What are you wanting to learn about, and what are you willing to lead a session on? So we probably won't have as many Post-it notes this year as we did last year since we're doing the Google form. But I do want a specific people assigned to it. It worked out well last year because people just jumped in and did it. But it'd be nice to have a few people over it and assigned to it.
Would it be helpful if someone wanted to facilitate a session if the Post-it note was a different color, or would that be too confusing?
No, I think that's what we did last year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They should definitely be different colors.
I just don't think it maybe had been communicated well enough for them to understand the differences.
if we had instructions on, besides I know we had instructions on the screen, what if we also had instructions on the table?
We did. We did last year.
We did, but maybe we could put in those instructions specific examples. So have them already filled out as examples, and maybe that would help too.
That's a good idea. I like the idea of having specific, like maybe having a sample of each kind. You know, if you want to facilitate a session, this is what your note card should look like. If you want to, you know, if you're just giving an idea, then this is what it should look like. So.
Okay, thank you, Susan, for putting in for the window paper for Twitter handles. We did that last year, and if you go look in our Google Plus community, you'll see the pictures that Mandy posted from our last year's EdCamp, all the Twitter handles on the windows, and we're just trying to promote connecting within our area, and so we'll do that again this year. And does anybody have the Midway Drumline connection to ask them if they want to come perform? I can't remember who contacted them last year. It may have been Mandy or Dawn.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it was Dawn.
Either between someone here will do it. Either one of my staff will take care of doing that somehow.
Okay. Okay. The next are the people who are going to be holding the mic. So we need announcers. Someone who's going to be willing to be the first person to go out there and say, hey, welcome to EdCampHOT. We're glad you're here. This is the Midway superintendent. Then he's going to say a little spiel, and then I guess Andy's going to explain EdCampHOT. And then we need someone to MC the student panel who's willing to ask the questions. And then when we come back from the last session, we need someone to say, hey, I hope you enjoyed EdCampHOT, you know, any shout outs to what you learned, stuff like that. And then who's going to MC the door prizes. So I know we had some people do it last year and they were phenomenal, so hopefully some of them will sign up. If not, we'll see. We may just ask specific people if no one signs up today.
All of our administrators, you know, are going to be there. So was Seth the one who did the panel last year?
Yeah, he did a really good job too.
Yes, he did.
Who did the door prizes? I'm trying to remember. Did Jeannie?
No.
It was what's his name? I see him everywhere. His last name starts with a G. He's got a great personality. Glassman or?
Oh, Clint Glazeman.
Yeah, Clint.
Oh, I'll see. I don't know. Don or Sarah, do y'all know if Clint's going to plan on being there? Do y'all remember?
We did talk about the door prizes. We just need to move through really quickly this year, do that a little differently. I think it went, you know, I mean, I think we were all surprised by how difficult that was to not only do that, but also get the prizes out at the same time. So I think we need to talk about having people to help him if he does that, to hand the prizes out as we go, or I think we talked about some other options.
Clint is on our summer list for the Ed Camp on our spreadsheet.
So if you would like for him to, I mean, I can ask him to do that. As long as we give him the parameters of what we want him to do, he'll be glad to do it, I'm sure.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I think so. What is it called at the end? This is sort of off topic, but at the end of Ed Camps, they always have that little time when they get together and they, I want to say they call it like a smackdown. Do you know what I'm talking about? Almost all the Ed Camps have them at the end, and they share what they've learned, but they have a name for it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's it. It's like a smackdown or a yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is.
So doing something like that, maybe we could come up with a cute little name for it so that it would be part of this, you know, something they all look forward to at the end.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea.
Okay, also the student panel, our idea is to have 9 students, so we don't have too many or too few, 2 elementary, 3 middle, and 4 high school students, and preferably from different school districts, to come and do that student panel right before all the sessions begin. I think Dawn did it last year. She got all the students organized. But that's kind of what we're looking for, to find these students and then send them questions in advance so they have time to think about it and potentially even write their own answers, submit them back to us, tell us which questions they want to be asked, and then is there anything else that they want to share. Try and organize it a little bit better than what we did last year so the students feel comfortable knowing what they're going to be asked and what they're going to answer ahead of time. So we would just need someone who'd be willing to invite those 4 students and organize it on that day.
And this may be something we just have to put out to people that we know, like just come up with the schools we want to ask, and if nobody wants to take on that role, maybe we could all kind of collaborate and do that together. But I feel like the student panel is a huge part of EdCampHOT. I feel like it's one of the most important parts of anything we do, hearing from those students. So I feel like it needs to be a focus and something that we do well, just because that's hearing those student voices and letting the teachers that aren't used to hearing that and learning from them, making that impact and helping them realize that they can actually learn from the students is huge and a really big moment for them. So I want to make sure that that goes over well.
That's something I can help with, and I can provide a 2nd grader and a 5th grader.
Great. That's awesome. The next thing is kind of what we've already talked about, the PALS or AVID students. We need someone who'd be willing to work with Dan at Midway and get some volunteers, and they can get hours so they can have a morning shift and then an evening shift, or I guess afternoon shift. And for sure we need a heavy amount of students for the afternoon shift for cleanup, putting all the classrooms back in order and moving all the desks. Okay, thank you, Sarah.
I'm thinking, I think Donna might have had to have left. Yeah, okay. Oh, are you still there, Donna? Sorry, I didn't see you.
Yay, thank you, Donna. Okay. Also, the green screen photo booth, we did that in the library, and I know a few people took advantage of it. I don't feel like a lot of people took advantage of it, just because not everybody went into the library for that, because honestly they were more interested in the maker spaces, which is totally fine. I'm just wondering, maybe on the day of the tour we can try and figure out what would be the best place to put that green screen. We were trying to put it in the hallway where it was more centrally located. We just had a problem with I think it was plugs, so we may need to look into trying to find some extension cords to help try and move that green screen into a more public place so that in between the sessions you could hop in and take a picture real quick. Okay, Andy, thank you. You're going to bring the green screen and the iPad. Signage, that's indoor and outdoor. And Donna, you said you're still willing to help with the indoor signage like you did last year?
I think Donna is gone.
Oh, now she's gone? Okay. Well, we'll talk to her about it. I think she was okay with doing the indoor, and I think Dawn did the outdoor last year, so, and it's not a lot of signage outdoor. We can just pull together and do that towards that on like that Monday or something. Okay, and Jessica, you're gonna help with Twitter in the computer lab for sessions 1 and 2, and possibly have some pals in there to help you out with that in case there's quite a few people in there.
Okay, that'll be awesome. Are you looking only for Midway volunteers? Because I've got a group of middle schoolers that also need volunteer hours. There are GCAP students, and so we could possibly pull them as well.
That would be awesome, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be really cool if you would just get with Donna on that.
Okay.
And maybe we have, maybe the PALS and AVID are specific to jobs, and your group is specific to certain jobs. If you're not able to like really, I guess, work it all together, we'll just see, y'all just work it however you want to do it.
Okay.
Okay, so the other thing we're going to do new this year are door prizes during EdCampHOT. So we want people to start using Twitter, using the hashtag EdCampHOT, and then so we need someone who's going to be devoted to raining down door prizes in between sessions, going up to the stairwell and dropping bags of goodies, but also watching the Twitter feed and giving out door prizes based on who's tweeting during EdCampHOT. So that's our idea about that one.
Did Carolyn say she wanted to do that? She had to leave.
I think so. She seemed
She
pretty.
did that yeah, she was good at that last year. And I'll help with the Twitter piece, the Twitter side of that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah, just put it on there.
Okay.
The next thing we talked about was a media and promotions person, and Mandy kind of just did this naturally last year. She ran around and did a lot of periscopes and tweeted out pictures, and so it's just trying to promote a presence online about what's actually going on during EdCampHOT. So that's what that one is. And last year we had maker spaces in the library. Lindsay Stevens did a phenomenal job doing a 3D printer, dash and dots, all the stuff she brought in for maker spaces and GT stuff. Has anybody heard from Lindsay? Do you think she's going to be a part of it again this year?
I can send her a Vox real quick. She's usually pretty good at Voxing me right back.
Okay. Is there
Hey,
anybody?
y'all, I have to leave. I have to go to we're inventorying summer school books, and so I have to leave and head over there. But y'all just tell me whatever and put me wherever y'all need me. So I'm excited I get to actually come this year. Our admin retreat was moved, so I have to go. But y'all just tell me, and Andy, Carrie, I'll call y'all later, maybe this evening or so, and catch up with y'all too.
Okay, and y'all
Okay.
go ahead and star this Google Doc, because this will be, another
Okay.
that we'll be able to sign up for things. So just keep coming back to the doc too.
Okay, I will. All right, bye y'all. Sorry. Bye.
So if there's anybody else interested in maker spaces, or you know of anybody, just contact them, see if they're interested in helping with that. That was a huge success, but it was a little too much for one person. There was so much going on in that library. Even with the PALs there, you really still need another adult in there, maybe even two, just so that people have an opportunity to get out of the library and not just be stuck in there all day. The other thing that Susan was talking about, would be really cool to have a hallway projector showcasing the Twitter feed, so everybody can see it online real big in the hallway. And I think Lisa was going to contact Lori Gracie from TCEA, because they do that every year during their conference, and see what technology they use for that. The other thing, the food trucks. We had great feedback about the food trucks. The food trucks really liked being there. It was worth their time. So we want to try and bring back the same ones, but possibly bring another truck in to offer a main course meal, because we're hoping to expand this and bring in more people this year. Do you guys have a suggestion on who else we could invite?
Pokios?
Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
That's the ice cream sandwich.
Oh, it's the ice cream sandwich? Okay.
You gotta follow them on Twitter to see where they're at every day.
Well, Vanilla Bean, they do ice cream. I'm not sure if we could do another dessert one is the problem. I think we're going to need another main course one.
Oh, that's right. It even says main course down there. Look at that. You know that one?
Hey, Carrie, I'm going to add the link here on the side of the chat, but there's the food truck showdown that's happening really soon. And there's several food trucks in and around the Central Texas area, so maybe we can contact one of those.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay, I'm going to keep going. We're going to have a Google Hangout classroom similar to what we did last year, only it didn't work out because we didn't have someone set up to be specifically in charge of it, and some of the links weren't working because we partnered with EdCamp Global at the same time. But this year what we're going to do is we're going to pre-schedule sessions for this classroom, and they're all going to be virtual sessions. So we have some contacts who would like to come to EdCampHOT, but they can't come in person, but maybe they can come virtually and present and do a session. So we're going to have one classroom devoted to that. So if we could have 1 or 2 people sign up for that room, that way if there's 2 people, one person can take a break and go to some other sessions. But we need someone in there to make sure the links all work and to provide some communication and connection between the virtual session and in-class session. So the other one is, oh, thanks, Willie, is an innovation classroom. This is where we want our sessions to focus on innovation in the classroom, 21st century learning. And we would like to try and take all the desks out of that classroom, or maybe just leave 1 or 2, and put in different types of seating. Andy McNair has different types of seating in her classroom at Bosqueville. The 2nd grade teachers also have like bean bags and video chairs, and I mean, you can do lawn chairs, just all kinds of different types of seating. And we want to provide that type of an environment there just to break away from the traditional learning environment, and just for the teachers just to experience it is really, we're not trying to make them buy into it, but we want them to experience it and to see if it's any different for them. And everyone's different when it comes to learning, so we want to try and provide that flexible seating. So if you know of anybody who has that different types of seating that'd be willing to let us use it for the day, it'd be great if you could just, put it on here. I can bring a bean bag. I can bring this. So we kind of know what can be filled in that classroom.
Yeah, and in the Google Hangout classroom where we're going to have people, we need to start thinking of people we want to go ahead and start scheduling for that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think it would be super cool if we could get like some of the, like Jamie Donnelly doing the VR. I mean, people that you relate to that subject, because that's an opportunity for us to bring in some really big people without them necessarily having to be there. But those people are going to have to know in advance, their time and all of that stuff. So if we can think of some specific topics and then the names that go along with those topics and can kind of put our feelers out there and see if they'd be willing to do that for us, I think that we need to start that early.
I think that'd be really great. You guys can start tweeting it out, and what we'll do is on this Google Doc, we'll put session 1 through 6 underneath that Google Classroom, and as you find someone, you can just put in their name, their Twitter handle, and then the title of the session, and then we'll leave it up to that person to create the link for that Google Hangout, and they'll be able to give that to us and we can post that on our session board. The other thing are door prizes. Lisa almost got all of our door prizes last year as far as the ones given out at the end, and she'll do a lot of that again this year. If you're willing to contact vendors and get door prizes, if you put your name up there, so that way we can collaborate and we're not going to ask the same vendor 2 or 3 times, because I don't want us to look unorganized because we're just asking the same people. So if you're willing to send out emails or tweets to ask people for door prizes, put your name up there. And then at the end, when we're giving out the door prizes, we'll need people to run the door prizes out to them, so they don't all have to walk all the way up to the stage, and it'll help speed up that process of handing out the door prizes. And I'll just quickly go through these last few things. The slideshow, Lisa will put that again, and that'll just be running continuously during breakfast and sign-in check-in, just with information about EdCampHOT, like the session board and Twitter and stuff like that. And then I think Seth and Susan, are y'all going to hopefully do the internet again this year?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
We'll have the internet that's not filtered.
Okay, you're awesome. Thank you. And then probably what we'll need to do, if you will just put a note on here what is available in each of the classrooms. I can't remember if you all have Apple TVs or Elmos, or I'm not sure what that was.
We do. We have Apple TVs and we have some type of document camera.
Okay.
There may be 1 or 2 classrooms. Sarah may correct me on this. Some of the document cameras have been replaced by different ones, but I think in that area, I think they all have regular document cameras. Sarah, do you know?
I'm not sure, but we can check on it.
We're talking about the 300 halls is where we're talking about. Both sides, the odd and the evens.
I will look into that and get back with you.
Thanks.
And I'll send out a Google form to everyone who's registered and ask them what are they willing to present and what do they want to learn. And I'll do the Google Doc for the session board, and Lisa will be playing music during the mornings and in between sessions. I'll bring in Dr. Pepper Hour for the afternoon. They were so kind and sweet. They just wanted us to tweet it, and they were awesome. They did a phenomenal job. They brought everything in. I'm going to go online and request EdCamp in a box, and hopefully they'll be able to give us a $100 Visa gift card that we can either use for breakfast or for Post-it notes or something. I'll get the t-shirt sales link, and we'll put that on our registration site. Lisa's updating the wiki. I'll update our Twitter profile with the registration link. We still have all the survey results from 2015 at EdCampHOT, and that's in that folder. If it's not, I'll add that so you guys can look at it. I'm going to try and go through and see if there's anybody who put a lot of notes in there about what they really liked, and possibly contact them to see if they would do a little video for our promo. Andy does the Eventbrite registration, and we'll just send out emails to those people 2 weeks beforehand about the Google form, and then periodically just kind of reminding them about anything new that we've added to the schedule.
Are we ready to put the Eventbrite up now, or do we need to make some more decisions about anything else?
No, just go ahead and put the Eventbrite up. Just make sure it says 8 to 3:30, doors open at 7:30.
Okay.
And that, but the only thing is, you know, we really can't state that breakfast will be provided because we haven't gotten that lined up yet. But you can put that, you know, the food trucks. Well, we don't even have the food trucks lined up yet either. So.
Okay.
I think it'll just be generic, just the times and location.
8 to 3:30, and doors will open at
7:30.
30.
And then we'll just put t-shirt link to come, because they still haven't given that back to me yet.
Okay, so I'll get that done today.
Okay.
And then once I get it done, I will tweet it out. So if you guys will just retweet it, that would be great.
Yes, and if you'd put it in the Vox or in the Google Plus too.
Okay, will do.
Okay, so we've gone through the whole thing. Any last comments? I know this ended up starting late. We're very much apologize for that, and it kind of went long, but I hope you have an idea more of what this day is going to look like. So any last comments before we sign off?
I think we're good.
I think so. I think the next time we'll meet, we'll just meet online through another Google Hangout, maybe towards the end of April, just to check in and see how things are going, and see how many people we have registered, any changes that need to be made, any roles that still need to be filled. Our goal is to get all of this done and set up, ready to go before we leave for summer, so that we don't have to go do anything between June and EdCamp. So that's our goal. So start pushing it at your campuses, and we'll get a flyer ready. We'll put it in the Google Drive, and you can print it out and post it in your teachers' lounges.
Hey, quick question. When on the where you have to welcome and introduce the Midway superintendent, are you going to want him to say anything, or are you just going to introduce? I just kind of need to let him know.
Oh, whatever he did last year was perfect.
Yeah.
Do what?
What he did last year was great. He did say a few words. It was absolutely perfect. I mean, he talked for maybe 5 minutes, if that long. It was really good.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Okay, well, feel free to reach out on Google+, Voxer, email, Google Hangouts, whatever you want to do to communicate. We'll be checking this Google Doc periodically too, so feel free to post comments in it. And then if there's anybody else that you want to join in on this adventure with us, feel free to let us know, and we will share all this stuff with them and see what role they can play with EdCamp. And we really appreciate everything that you guys are doing, especially Midway for hosting it again this year, and we're excited for 2016 EdCamphOT.
Thank you.
Okay.
Chat again soon.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.